Hey, what's up, everybody? In this video, I got myself here my entire gaming haul since the end of December. Well, physical haul, that is. I did buy a couple digital games here and there, but they're digital. I don't, I can't physically hold it in my hand. And yeah, this is what I got. I got about six, seven, eight, nine. Yeah, I got about 10 games here, and I also have some other physical items, which I will be showing off later. But yeah, 10 games. Well, it's actually more than that, but we'll get to that. So let's start off at the top. Now, the top is the one I bought. Is the I'm going in reverse order here. The one at the bottom is the one I got first, and so we're going in reverse order. So these two games, Burnout Paradise Remastered. I got this for $9 at Walmart, alongside Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, also for $9. It's actually two games in one, since it also includes Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which was originally a PlayStation Vita title that got ported over um, to like the PS3 and Xbox 360, and then later on it got ported over a second time and was included as part of this remaster in I think 2018 or 2019. Yeah, 2019. And yeah, so I actually uh, I actually have this game thanks to like Game Pass and also PlayStation Plus. But you know what? My Game Pass subscription is going to be ending by March, and I might as well just pick it up and have it in my collection so I can play it anytime I want. So yeah. As for Burnout Paradise, again, Game Pass as well, but might as well own it physically, right? And what's interesting is that the remastered, I think the remaster actually removed a couple songs here or there. That's unfortunately the nature of these racing games. Sadly, a lot of the licensed songs um, have a certain time limit because it is ultimate. The publisher don't necessarily want to go out of their way to pay the original rights holders extra money, or they just can't get the rights to it. So, yeah. Um, I own it now. I've been told that this. I tried it a little bit, and I'm hoping I can get back into this. Assassin's Creed 3. I actually started it up recently. I'm liking what I played so far. Um, but in fact, I've actually been working my way through a lot of these games. I just finished the Ezio trilogy, and I gotta say, I had a lot of fun in those games. So I'm expecting this to be objectively a good game. Okay, now that oh yeah, I also it's worth mentioning I did have a Walmart gift card, so I spent a little bit less than $18 on these. So yeah, on average, if we include Liberation as its own game, about $6 a piece, not too, which is pretty good. Next up, so this one's a little interesting because I actually spent a little bit of money, but not that much. So the first game I got is Sonic Racing Crossworlds on the Nintendo Switch. I've been getting most of my Sonic games this generation on the Switch, so I kind of decided to just stick to having the Switch version. Had it been the case that the Xbox or like yeah, if they had the Xbox version, I probably would have gotten that instead, since I do primarily also game on the Xbox, but also the Xbox version contains both Xbox One and Series consoles version, whereas PlayStation 5, it's just the PS5 version. There is no like PS4 physical edition. That's rarely available, unfortunately. So yeah, this was on sale for $64.99. It's actually closer to, I believe, I think it's actually closer to $100. Uh, I had this pre-ordered, but I didn't bother picking it up. Thankfully, when I did pick it up, they automatically gave it to me at the sales price, which was nice. There is a Switch 2 version that has come out. In fact, you can actually upgrade to that Switch 2 version for a small fee. Not sure if I'll ever do that, just because I'm kind of adverse to doing that I'd rather just have that physical edition, but well, I may change my mind at some point. What is interesting is that the Switch 2 version actually has the full game on the cartridge when it does release, as opposed to most Nintendo Switch games, especially third parties, where they're just game key cards, which really suck. But that is unfortunately the nature of things, because Nintendo only produces like 64 gigabytes cartridges, which is a problem because not every game needs that much space. So it's actually more beneficial to just have a game key card. But as for the game itself, it is an excellent kart racer from what little I played of it. Uh, I'm hoping the Switch version, it is impressive that they got this thing on here. Obviously not going to be. It's obviously going to be one of the worser versions of the game, but compared to playing it on my PC, it's actually a little better, surprisingly enough. And speaking of Switch 2, I also have a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Now, I don't have a Switch 2, but the nice thing about this version of the game is that it includes both Switch 2 and the original Switch version. So I can just pop this into my original Switch and play the game like normal. Play the game like any other Switch game. But of course, if you have the Switch 2, you have improved visuals and mouse controls. And of course, it's a single player game, so yeah, unfortunately, uh, there's no multiplayer to speak of, which might be a bummer for the few people who actually like that sort of thing. As for the game itself, well, this was a long time coming. I mean, they announced this back in 2017, and even before that, like, if you got to the end of Metroid Prime 3 and were hoping for a Prime 4, you had to wait 18 years just to get a sequel. And the sequel had a very troubled development. It was supposed to be developed by Bandai Namco, but then that version got scrapped, and they had to bring in Retro Studios, and it kind of shows. Um, just just based on certain things in the game, like the uh, the open desert area, for instance, conceptually cool, but I've based on the footage I've seen, it's not doesn't seem to be the most interesting, sadly. But we'll see. We'll see if my opinion changes when I actually play the game. I've never actually played a Metroid Prime game before, and you don't need to play the previous games, but if what I've heard is correct, this may be the weakest. So, if I start with the weakest and then move my way backwards and go to Metroid Prime Remastered, I'm sure I'm going from a game that's good to something that's really good, and I probably would help me appreciate the original trilogy a bit more. Next up, so I paid a little bit of money for this one. I was actually shocked to see it this cheap, but I'm not that surprised actually, because historically, a game like this, Metaphor ReFantazio, a JRPG, they just don't do well on Xbox. I mean, the Xbox is already doing pretty badly these days, and in North America, the place where it usually does the best. So, so it's not surprising. Yeah, it's not doing so well in Japan. It's actually amazing they even bothered pumping this out for the Xbox. They could have just ignored it. Uh, what's interesting is that this game also got like a PS4 version, but not an Xbox One version. Most likely because it probably just wasn't worth it. I mean, uh, the Xbox One, they would have had to include it anyways with the Xbox Series version, and it just given how poorly that system has sold in Japan, like it just probably wasn't worth it at all to do it. PS4 is understandable, very successful system, but Xbox not so much. Now I have started playing the game through Game Pass. In fact, the one thing about Game Pass I really like with this game, you can go between Xbox and then hop over to your PC, uh, and the save file will carry over, which is awesome. But of course, I don't. I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep my Game Pass subscription or how much longer the game will be in the be in the catalog of Game Pass titles, so might as well just get this since it's cheap. Like 20 bucks? Yeah, heck yeah, that's an awesome deal. It's actually closer to $8 because when it came to buying the games, I used a lot of my trade credits. So I had some money left over thanks to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and I think even Sonic Metroid Prime Beyond 2 as well, because I originally pre-ordered the Switch 1 version, and this Switch 2 version was actually part of a secret sale that EB Games was having. So I think this was $100 originally, got it for 70. So saved a bit of money here, saved a bit of money there, and just had a bit left over, put it towards this, and got it for $8. I'm actually kind of hoping a part of me is kind of hoping that they don't do like an updated re-release like every other Atlas title though, because these games are already long as is. I mean, Persona 5 Royal took me 133 hours to do. If I had actually stuck around for the original version of the game, I probably wouldn't have been happy finding out that, oh, you want we got a new version and now you got to sit through another 100 hours of it. No thanks. That's a hard sell, especially nowadays. But but yeah, as for the game itself, it's basically Persona, but in a fantasy setting, and that's basically it. It's, if you love Persona, especially Persona 5 and Persona 3 Reload, you're gonna really like this game. And that's all I really got to say about it. Hopefully, I'm sure maybe at some point we'll get a sequel to this in some ways, but we'll see. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the games I got from EB Games. I did actually get a couple of amiibos, which I actually have up here. So yeah, as part of the secret sale that EB Games was having, they also had several other games and amiibos straight up on sale. Take a look at that. A Street Fighter 6 amiibo, which they put out in commemoration of to coincide with the release of Street Fighter 6 for Switch 2, uh, selling for 41.99 Canadian dollars down to 9.99. What an incredible deal! That is awesome, and honestly, the quality of these amiibos is great too. I have no idea who the heck this guy is, but yeah, this is really nice. It is interesting how with some of the new amiibos they don't even bother showing what games it's compatible with. They usually historically they put in like they usually show you on the back what game is compatible with, like or like a screenshot that more specifically with the game in question. But here they don't even bother. Yeah, I also got Luke over here as well, also for $10. This was a character that was first seen in like the first teaser trailer alongside Ryu, who I also have. I'm actually curious now as to whether Ryu is compatible, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, really nice. Uh, but yeah, let's move on. Oh, actually, I forgot the base. Yeah, the base looks really nice too. Like you got the It looks like the number 6 down there. That's a nice attention to detail. But yeah, that's the amiibos I got a lot in that secret sale, which is awesome. But let's move on to some more games here. So the next 4 games I actually got from a place called Gamerama. Basically, this privately owned game store, not too far where I live. Okay, well, I mean, it is quite a bit of a ride to get there, but especially in the freezing cold. But yeah, I got these games thanks to some trade credit that I had. I traded a bunch of games last year, and I had like $65 in trade credit, and these are the games I got. First I have Wipeout Pure for the PlayStation Portable. This game is still stuck on the PSP, and as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been ported over. I believe a couple of other games in the franchise got ported over, but this one's still stuck on PSP, unless I'm mistaken. It's not even available on like PS Plus or any PS Plus Premium or anything like that, which kind of sucks. But hopefully we do get it at some point, you know, so I don't have to, you know, whip out my PSP, which is like the system is like 20 years old right now, which is insane to think about. And there's still quite a number of games that are just trapped on that system that I would love to be able to experience on a modern platform. But and just and can we just get another Wipeout game too? Like seriously, Sony, you have so many franchises, but they just keep abandoning them for like another re-release of The Last of Us. But anyways, moving on, I have Mortal Kombat 11. This was a pretty big game back, pretty big game, pretty big deal because it released right before the pandemic, and it had a lot of post-launch support with DLC and such. Got this for $10. Um, Unfortunately, the as you can tell, the box has seen better days. Like it seems to be water damaged, which is probably why it's only $10. No, yeah, it doesn't come with a manual. I actually have the game inside the console right now. I thought the game was on. I was a little worried because I wasn't sure if the game was available on Game Pass or anything like that, but thankfully it isn't. So, yeah, I'm not double dipping necessarily here. And plus, the DLC goes on sale quite often, so I can always just grab it that way. You got quite a bit of DLC characters, which is really nice. But yeah, that's Mortal Kombat. We'll see. We'll see if how long it takes to get another Mortal Kombat game. I expect maybe about a couple more years. I know Mortal Kombat 1 was like a bit of a disappointment for them, for Neversoft. Sorry, not NetherRealm, because um, they were expecting it to do as well as 11, but it didn't. Like the Chaos Reigned DLC that just bombed apparently, which is a bit unfortunate. And what's worse is that Warner Brothers games right now, they're being bought out potentially by Netflix. So hopefully it goes well for them. I'm really hoping it does because it's already bad enough that we have all this consolidation in the industry right now that's leading to a whole bunch of layoffs and stuff, and a lot of franchise basically just abandoned. So hopefully that doesn't get ruined too much. Next up, 007 Quantum of Solace. So this is a movie tie-in game, obviously meant to coincide with the release of Quantum of Solace. But the reason I got this is because I'm actually I take a great deal of interest in these cross-gen games. I say cross-gen because this was also released on the PS2 and Wii, and those versions are a bit different than this. That and also, the 007 brand is seeing a bit of a renewal since we got a new game that's coming out that's like completely original, and it does look like it looks like a high quality game, especially since it's being done by the same folks who did the Hitman World of Assassin trilogy, which I heard were really good stealth, like some of the best stealth games ever made, apparently. So yeah, we have Daniel Craig's version of James Bond on here. Now, of course, because this was actually done by Treyarch. Okay, now that is, I must have forgotten about that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, before they did they were stuck with Call of Duty Black Ops. They made stuff like this, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so we got the disc here. We got the manual, a little messed up. But yeah, we got the manual here. Let's see if there's any advertisement. I'm sure there's got to be some advertisement. No, there isn't. Actually, maybe we take a look. Okay, surprisingly not. And usually there's some additional advertisement, but no, that's fine. Next up, we have Kingdom Hearts 3 for the Xbox One. Now, like I mentioned earlier, um, yeah, these types of games just don't do well. These Japanese games just don't do well on Xbox traditionally compared to PlayStation. And yeah, it's nice, but it is nice. It is nice to have it on here, but a little confusing as well because at the time of its release, we had almost no Kingdom Hearts game on Xbox. So like this would have been most Xbox players like first time experiencing the franchise, and this is like the worst possible way to start. This is like starting Avengers Endgame before watching any of the Avengers movies at minimum. Um, and I think the Avengers is a good comparison too because like the Avengers, you kind of have to watch all the other superhero movies to understand what's going on between the Avengers movies, uh, especially the latter two entries. And Kingdom Hearts is like the worst when it comes. It is very similar to that because you don't just play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. You also have to play a whole bunch of spin-offs, which only recently got ported over to modern platforms. And to really add insult into injury, like those remasters don't even contain. Some of those remasters don't even contain the full game. Like the DS games, they had their cutscenes um, ripped out of their original games and just made into a movie, but you don't get to experience the games. Those games are still stuck on the DS. I could go on and on about Kingdom Hearts, but hey, I got it. I got Kingdom Hearts 3 now. Um, $20, not too bad. I wish it was the complete edition, which had like the Remind DLC, but whatever. I'm sure they'll probably re-release it at some point, or put it out on a huge discount. Only time will tell. And then we have here, this is the outlier here because I got this like at the end of last month. It is the Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy the definitive edition for Switch. This is like the very first time that we got a mainline Grand Theft Auto entry or entries on a Nintendo platform because up until this point you only had the Chinatown Wars on DS and that was basically it as far as I can remember. Like maybe maybe something else, but as far as I'm aware, that was it until this. It's actually been 5 years now, and since that time, I've heard it's gone a bit better. They got a new developer on board to work on it, much to the dismay of the previous developer who had their credits removed. Um, I'm sure you guys already know the story with this. This this was a disaster at launch, especially on Switch, because it just did not run well at all. As was like not a lot of effort, not a lot of. It was very unpolished overall. They changed up the visuals from the PS2 original. First of all, these games themselves are based on the mobile versions that were released on Android devices like 10 years ago or so, and those mobile versions were not exactly the best versions either. They had their problems, and to really add insult into injury, they also have this. These games also have the same problem that Burnout Paradise have, where not all the songs are included. So like Billie Jean's, and I think Vice City is no longer there, sadly. So if you're a Michael Jackson fan, well, you're out of luck. But still, for $20, and the fact that I didn't even pay a single penny since uh, I still had like gift card since I used a gift card, an Amazon gift card. Hey, not too bad. Now there is also a download required too, which, yeah, kind of sucks. But oh well. Now, fortunately for me, I also have the original versions of the games, but of course, being on PS2, um, doesn't always look it doesn't necessarily look the best when blown up on a big HD TV. So, and of course, these games have some improvements here and there to the fundamental gameplay, like having a weapon wheel. That's nice. So hey, well, who knows? And the portability factor is also nice too. So I can forgive it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Except a couple more items. This is all the games I got. All all 10 game cartridges and discs containing about 13 games in between because of course, this is a trilogy of games, and Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered comes with Liberation. So yeah, I got 13 games. Uh, and in terms of actual money spent, it's actually very little. Um, yeah, like didn't spend money on this, didn't spend money on these, spent $8 on this, spent nothing on this. I think the about $16 for this in total. So 16 plus 8, that's 24. I guess the only things else I spent money on were these amiibos that I just got. So just yesterday, I picked up 2 more amiibos. These ones I actually paid some money with. Sorry, paid with some money. I'm I'm stumbling over my words here. But anyways, yeah, I paid as you can tell, again, $41.99. Got it for $10. Uh, Another Street Fighter 6 character, and looks really well done and considering I got this for $10, that's really awesome. Once again, on the back, however, there's no mention of Street Fighter 6 whatsoever, which is interesting. Yeah, $10. And second, I got this one. So I didn't realize at first, but yeah, this is Bandana Waddle. Sorry, Bandana. Shoot, I don't even know the correct name for this guy. Yeah, Bandana Waddle Dee and the and whatever this is. Sorry, the Wing Star. Yeah, so yeah, this was originally $54.99. Got it for 20. A bit higher than this one over here, but um, you know, considering how much it was originally, and the fact that you can actually you can actually plop this guy into the actual ride. That's actually pretty cool. I like this sort of thing. And you can even swap. And if you have the Kirby version, the Kirby variant of this of the amiibo, you can actually swap it out too. In fact, if we take a look on the back, we can see that you can swap out Kirby and Waddle Dee, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the Kirby one obviously was not available. I mean, unsurprising, not surprising since that's obviously the one that most people are probably more likely to buy. But oh well, I got something. Now, as for the game itself, Kirby Air Riders, which is actually featured on the back this time, as opposed to the Street Fighter ones. Yeah, it's a sequel to Kirby Air Ride from the GameCube, and I heard it's a good game. Uh, it's actually being done by Masahiro Sakurai, the original creator of Kirby himself, who previously worked on Kirby Air Ride as his final game before leaving HAL Laboratory, the company that makes Kirby games. He was actually not apparently unhappy with the final product at the time, or just frustrated in general with the sequelization of Kirby or something like that, and that's kind of why he left. But yeah, he finally made a sequel to the game, and it seems the game has done well enough. I haven't actually, obviously, I haven't played the game, and unfortunately, as for me, these amiibos are not compatible with the 3DS or Wii U systems. I'm actually curious now which other system it's compatible for, because um, what games it's compatible with and what I can get in other games, but we'll see. Only time will tell. I'm actually, it's actually amazing that the amiibos, out of all the toys to life, uh, stuff that came out in the 2010s, this is the one that managed to survive. And I'm actually hopeful we get more of them. Honestly, I do want to see these things succeed at some, since well, no other company is really doing it anymore. That said, I don't necessarily want them charging this absorbent amount of money for it. Like this sort of thing is going to bite Nintendo. Is going to get to Nintendo at some it's going to come back and haunt Nintendo in some ways. There's only so many people willing to spend X amount of money for this. But yeah, that's basically it for all the stuff I got. I actually, like, as I was checking out, funny story, I actually found a GameStop, an EB Games gift card in my pocket for $5. So yeah, I ended up spending a little less than $30 for both of them, which is nice. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you like what you saw, stuck around for the last half an hour, and want to see more of this content, as always, um, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.